Data Science, a practical guide for beginners. In today's session, we will see about the introduction of NumPy. So, in today's session, we will be seeing about how to handle the missing values. So, already we have seen how to handle a missing values given a sample code wherein the data has been given, so with the salaries of different people, and here two none columns are there, so the application cannot proceed with the none value. So wherever the none value appears, here in this application they've taken it as filling the missing values with mean. So taking the other values and taking the mean or the average, so that is the index 2 and 5 has been filled as 54,250. So we are using a command called fill now. Okay, so this is one of the way to handle the missing values. Now moving on to the techniques to handle the missing values. So we can go in for the deletion or imputation process. In deletion, if you see, there are two types of deletion. One is called as a list-wise deletion, another is called as a pairwise deletion. So what do you mean by list-wise deletion? It is nothing but removing the entire row or column which contains the missing values. I'll just remove the column and the row which has missing value. Okay, so this method is quite simple, but if you go on remove the rows or the columns which have none values, so this can result in a significant loss of data. So in certain applications like stock market prediction, where even a one none value will cost a huge amount, in that case we go in for a pairwise deletion, where you are removing the pair of observation where at least one value is missing. So when compared with the listwise deletion, so this pairwise deletion so is better. So in the first time, that is a list-wise deletion, you are going to remove the entire row. Okay, so if any column is going to have a missing value. So we have just taken a sample code, import pandas as PD and import numpy as NP, and the data is given name of the person, Alice, Bob, Charlie and David, and their age, in which Bob's age is given as none. Similarly, Charlie's salary is given as none. So now what we are going to do to the data frame, we are just going to apply the command called df dot drop now. So that means, so what you are going to remove, you are going to remove the entire row which is going to have a, if that column is going to have a missing value. So this column is having a missing value, this column is having a missing value, so which corresponds to Bob and Charlie. So this index with the index 1 and 2 are going to be removed. Finally, by the list-wise deletion, you are just going to have the index of 0 and 3, because these two have, that is the index 1 and 2 have one missing values in their data. Now we will move on to a pairwise deletion. So here what we are going to do, here you are going to compute the mean using the pairwise deletion. That is, you are going to remove the missing value only for a specified operation. So here we are taking the df salary dot mean, okay, and you are going to print the age and average salary. So those values will be taken. Not all the rows and the columns will be removed here. So once we have seen about the deletion, so the next concept is about your data imputation. So what does this imputation mean? It is nothing but it is a process of replacing the missing data with estimated values to maintain the data set integrity. So in imputation, we have two types. One is called as a regression imputation, another is called as a multiple imputation. So regression imputation is nothing but we are going to proceed with the regression models to predict the missing values based on the features. Okay, so now whereas this multiple imputation involves creating multiple imputed data set by filling the missing values with different plausible values. So now we'll just take an example to understand the process of imputation. So we'll just take a medical research data imputation for research data for understanding the imputation technique. The scenario is patient blood pressure reading with occasional missing value. So we'll take the blood pressure readings of different person, but occasionally there might be some missing value. So what is the challenge faced? So discarding the road may reduce the sample size, lead to the loss of important data. Might be this person might have other input data. If I'm going to remove for the case of blood pressure, all the significant data would be lost. So how am I going to recover it or rearrange it? So now what am I going to do? I'm going to use a statistical imputation for this numerical data entry. Either I'm going to use any one of the statistical analysis, that is mean, median or mode. Okay, so from sklearn, scikit-learn, impute, scikit-learn dot impute. What is the function for imputation? It is impute. Then your import simple imputer. So what is a simple imputer? It is a class from scikit-learn which is designed for handling the missing values effectively. So what is a class? That is simple imputer. Okay, of course, you know, pandas is used for creating and manipulating the data. So initially we are creating a data equal to pd dot data frame, and we are giving a patient. Four numbers of different patients have been taken, which is categorized as P1, P2, P3 and P4. Now the blood pressure level is given 120, 115, and the third value, blood pressure of the patient, is taken as none here, and the fourth one as 130. Now you are going to apply the imputation process, right? So imputer is equal to simple imputer, strategy is equal to mean. How am I going to fill the missing value? By using the average strategy. Okay, so data is equal to blood pressure. What is the command I've given? Imputer dot fit underscore transform. Imputer dot fit underscore transform the data, and the blood pressure is given as 2 times of the square bracket, and then you are printing the data regarding to blood pressure of the patients, right? So here this fit command, it calculates the mean from the non-missing values. It just takes the mean of these three values, and the fit command computes the mean. Now what does this transform function does? This transform, it replaces that missing value with the calculated mean value. Thus, if you could see, this fit underscore transform, it combines both the steps. That is, it computes the mean initially, and wherever the place is none, it goes and fits into it. So that is a transformation it is carrying out. So it is a function of fit underscore transform. Now you could see this blood pressure is passed in double brackets because the imputer expects a 2D array. So thus we have seen the techniques of handling the missing values by using the deletion and imputation techniques. Okay, so in the next class, so we will be seeing about the data transformation techniques. So thus, if you could see, you can have either the in missing value, so where it is going to be replaced by in one, Either I am going to remove all the rows, that is the rows and the columns which is going to have a single none value. I'll be removing the rows and the columns by list-wide deletion. So pairwise deletion, mainly it incorporates a correlation place where the data has to be removed, and then we move on to the two types of imputation. One is your regression imputation and another is a multiple imputation in this lecture. Thank you.